Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Mind Your Mouth podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Mugno, and let's dive in. Well, everybody, how are you doing today? I am doing well, but ultimately, I have been feeling a little lost. So today, I was going back and forth about what do I want to talk to you guys about. And as I try so hard on this podcast, is just to be authentic and to really show up with you guys with what's truly going on in my life, even when it doesn't 100% make sense if I should share it or not, because sometimes it could sound like whining. So today, what was coming to my mind and what we started talking about was what happens when you just don't feel like you belong? When you feel as though you are not wanted, or you feel like you are trying to be noticed, or you're trying to ultimately get someone to accept you. I had this conversation with a really good friend the other day, and with my coach, he was asking me, what does this bring up for you, Melissa? Like, what are you ultimately seeking for? And I said, I think I don't want to push my way in. I want to be invited. And he said, okay, well, when was the first time you felt like this? And, this happens a lot in a lot of my sessions. And then it's all about that childhood healing. And we're all adults just still dealing with all of our childhood issues that were never truly addressed. And I think I always truly wanted to feel like I belong. I grew up with a fragmented family, which I know so many of you guys can relate to. That's not like, exclusive to me. It's something that's like, I think we all have a majority of us that can feel like our families are fragmented. And even though sometimes I had felt, people might have said I was popular or I fit into certain groups, there was a lot of time that I felt like I had to try so hard just to belong, to fit in. And a lot of times I did things that maybe I didn't really want to do because it wasn't aligned with my soul, but I did it because I thought it's what I needed to do to fit in. Come on, we all know that, right? The popular comment, try to fit in. We've all seen Mean Girls. And I also had to deal with the fact that there were some times that I might have been a mean girl because of my own insecurities, because I just wanted to fit in. I wanted to create a community or something that felt, I wanted a sense of belonging. So that's what we're going to dive into today. And I wanted to share something that just happened to me recently. So for some of you guys that are new to the pod or you're just following, I live in Lafayette, Louisiana. I've been here about almost 5 years. It's crazy that it's been that long because some days I still feel like I just got here a year ago. And I've had so many beautiful and hard growth moments here. And there's been this opportunity for me to really evolve and grow into myself here. And I'm really blessed right now. My mom is embarking her own healing journey. She just started this year. And I've manifested it and I put it out into the universe. And I was like, all I wanted was my mom to heal. And it really does prove that the only way to heal others is to heal yourself. By my healing, I was a catalyst for other people, and nobody in the world did I want to heal more than my own mother, right? Because I'm part of her. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. And one of the things is I knew I had to bring her to my home. Like I needed her to be with us, which I don't know about any of you guys. If you've struggled having a relationship with your mother or any of your parents, when you don't agree with them, they've hurt you, they've caused you so much pain. Imagine that the universe or God is telling you the only way to truly help them or support them is to let them live with you. People ask me what brought me to Lafayette. And I have a lot of work reasons and I have a lot of things I can say. But the truth is, it was God. It was healing. And I am grateful for this ground, for this place, because it has held me, it's supported my children, and has supported my family during some really heavy times, but also has been a beautiful support for me to heal. Maybe not always the support I wanted, but it gave me the support I needed. And I think it's a really important opportunity to recognize that life is about giving you what you need, not what you want. And I think that's something we all need a little bit more of, is truly asking ourselves, is this something that I desire, that I want, or is this truly something I need? It's a fine line. It's hard sometimes to really sit with that, because we all have wants and desires. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of things I want. I keep manifesting my dream house, but I realized there was things I needed to work on before, or there is still things I need to work on. This is a journey. I'm constantly evolving. And so I'm going to share a little story that happened last week. So I was in church with my mother, and I've been taking her to this church, and this church has been very helpful to me. I can feel the spirit of God in me when I'm there. It's very musical. It has really great music. And that music, I feel it in my bones. Some people say the Holy Spirit. I just feel it. I feel really connected to God when that music is playing. And I truly just put my hands up, and I just dropped in, because I was feeling all of these feelings coming up, even though I was there supporting my mom, and my mom was going through her own thing. I still had to put my own oxygen mask on, because I was having my own emotional experience in that moment. And I was feeling pulled and feeling really uncomfortable in my own skin. And I could feel all of these emotions coming up. And one of the big thing was that I kept hearing the word alone. I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I have to do everything by myself. I feel like people don't really want to invite me, that I have to force my way into things. I felt like I didn't belong. And I just asked myself, what are you trying to show me? Why am I feeling all of these things? Because belonging, really, you could just feel like you belong with yourself, right? There's all these great affirmations that went into hey, if you're not being invited to somewhere else, then just open your own place, or create your own space and build it yourself. And then the right people will come. I know all of that logically, but in that moment, I truly just felt so alone. And I could feel the tears coming down my eyes. And I was like, dear God, dear Heavenly Father, dear Spirit, show me why I live here. And then I started to realize, my kids are thriving here. My business has done really great here. Maybe not in the local community, but me being here has allowed my national and international side of my business to grow exponentially. It's grown so much. I've grown larger than I could have even imagined. A lot of my dreams, or even my wildest dreams, I didn't even think I could dream that big, have come true here. But yet I feel like a foreigner. I feel like I'm lost. I could feel like I truly am not wanted. So I asked myself in this time, when was the first time I felt like that? And I thought to myself, wow, there were so many times in my life that I felt like a foreigner, that I felt not wanted. And it started all when I was little, because of some of the circumstances that happened in my childhood, which I'm super grateful for a lot of them, because I wouldn't be who I am without them. And I know a lot of us say that, and that can be a bit cliche. It's I'm so grateful for all my pain and suffering. I mean, I am, but it doesn't mean that it was fun. And there was a lot of times I felt like I wasn't wanted at the table. And I realized that, there was this moment as I kept going through, I started really thinking about when was the first time I felt like that. And it brought me back to, I want to say I was about 8 or 9, and we used to go camping with my mom's friends. And I was the oldest out of all their kids, and like significantly older. I'm 6.5 years older than my brother. And most of my mom's friends at this point didn't have children my age. They all had children my brother's age. So I was too old to hang out with the kids and I was too young to hang out with the adults, but I didn't want to hang out with the kids. I always wanted to hang out with the adults. And I was always kind of told that I should go away. I shouldn't be listening to that stuff, or I was always eavesdropping. And then the little kids, I felt like I had nothing in common, and I didn't understand where they were at, probably envious of them at some point too, because they were having this like group situation where they were with other friends and family, and we did not have that when I was younger. And I realized that those were the moments I really felt like I didn't know where to belong. And I realized I had to like create my own illusion and create my own space. It's crazy enough that I think I've repeated some of these situations with my own daughter. My children are 6.5 years apart and have the same father and all those things. But my daughter, I was the first one to have a child in my friend group. Yeah, my daughter is significantly older than the other children. And we just went on a ski trip and I thought to myself, wow, she probably feels exactly the same way. I try hard to include her with us in some ways because she's a little bit older. She's 15. But I thought, wow, isn't it interesting that we just repeat these patterns? So it allowed me to keep kind of diving into a little bit about like, what does belonging truly feel like, right? So it feels like home, right? And what does home feel like? So I thought home for me feels like a place that I can shine, that I can bring my gifts, and that I can leave a little bit better than I found, and that I can truly just be my authentic self, which is a little loud, a little deep, a little quirky, and sometimes a little bitchy. I can be bitchy sometimes. I can be a little defensive. But I'm usually pretty quick to acknowledge it and say I'm sorry. But I can be. I'm proud of being from New Jersey. I wear it proud. I can't take that part away from me. I'm a straight shooter. I'm really forward. And I know that makes people uncomfortable sometimes. And I so don't mean it from a bad place, right? I mean it because I value the relationship. I value the conversation, and I want it to be this authentic, honest conversation because I want to truly value that person's time. And I want to get to know somebody on a deeper level. I think I spent a lot of time in that fake area because I was insecure in myself. And now I want to really put my energy in these places or in these relationships that I can get something out of it. And it's interesting because it's what I want. I say it's what I need, I should say. But then other times it's not what I want, because on the other side, I want to, go to the parties. I want to be included in the social stuff. In my mind, that's what I want to be included in. But then on other aspects, it's like, I don't even know if I'm that fun in those situations anymore. The truth is that is it my own energy that isn't attracting that? And so it's an interesting situation when you feel like your wants and needs are kind of conflicting each other. So then it dove me down a really great little journey in my meditation of what brought me here in the first place. Yes, it was God, but I came here to open up an airway center, to build a massive myo clinic, and to have this really great collaboration. And when I first got here, it felt like such an amazing place. It was like everybody was open to it. They were interested to it. And then it changed. And not because of it all happened exactly the way it was supposed to, because change is hard. And it's something you really have to honor and value. And ultimately, sometimes you do something too fast, or you don't treat it delicate enough. It can become overwhelming, or you can overuse it or go too far too quickly. And then all of a sudden things might not land the way they were supposed to. But I realized that when I made the decision to stay, even after that had changed, I lost my purpose. I came here to prove or to bring to something that I'm so passionate about. And all of a sudden that was gone. It felt like in the moment. And now all of a sudden I had to work on something different. So it felt like no matter what I do, I wasn't fully accepted because this part of what I do, which is who I am, was no longer accepted. And all of a sudden that made me feel like they don't like me. And then I felt defensive and I had to prove myself and I couldn't get the words out of my mouth easy enough to explain even why I'm here because the story felt complicated. And then therefore that made me feel complicated and it made me feel like too much. So it was doing was compounding all of these beliefs I had about myself. So I'm sure some of you can take this type of story and put it into your own circumstance. When have you been in a situation that you thought you were going for one thing and then ultimately something else came out of it and it might have been beautiful? And I have received all these blessings and gifts, but yet internally, I still feel like I'm short, like I'm lacking something, like I'm not good enough, or I need more, or I'm going to have to compensate on something. So what I noticed was that I was sitting there and really wanting to ask particular questions. And I'm interested to see what some of you guys think about this. And the questions really came down to is, why am I here? Am I done here? Is this temporary? Or am I supposed to build something here? I don't know. Those were questions and I put them out and I've been ruminating on them and sitting on them, right? When you feel like you don't belong, you either shrink or you have to create. So I ask you, where are you at with things? Are you shrinking or are you creating? I know I'm creating. I'm a creator and I am somebody who is genuinely learning how to build not only for others, but for myself. See, for a long time, I was building for others because I was a people pleaser. And by people pleasing, I didn't always believe that I could build for me. I thought if I did for others that they would be able to fill my cup instead of me filling my own cup. And I know too many of you can relate to that because all of us sometimes feel like we're running on empty. We don't have enough and we're looking for others. My husband's not giving me enough. My kids aren't giving me enough. My boss isn't treating me kindly. All of those things. But the question really is, what are you putting out in the universe? What are you doing? Is that the energy you're putting and that's why you're receiving it back? It's an interesting thought to think on. So what did I want to teach myself in this moment? And what did I want to bring to you guys? Belonging isn't given. It's built. And I was like, I have to build it. If I feel like a foreigner, maybe I'm supposed to be a pioneer. And I was like, ooh, being a pioneer definitely can feel lonely. So maybe all of the things I am experiencing and that I'm going through are exactly what I'm meant to do. What are my purpose and what my mission is. Discomfort is often an assignment, not rejection. Those were some really interesting thoughts. I was like, oof, I keep talking about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. And I'm like, but am I really? It's a big question because have I just been repeating myself over and over again because I needed to hear it, because I needed to be prepared for what I was embarking so I could build something? It was like, I think so. If I wasn't brought here once for a reason, maybe there's another layer. There's multiple layers. I know that for a fact. Maybe I'm not unaccepted. Maybe I'm unactivated. That's it. I needed to activate because activation is about awareness. And when you build awareness in yourself, it's crazy what is possible. Because when you highlight the things that are not serving you and you replace them with things that do serve you, it's endless what is possible. This life is powerful. It is truly a canvas, and we have so many opportunities to build an amazing life if you are willing to put in the work and activate your sense of understanding who you are, truly looking at yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I know I talk about this so much on Mind Your Mouth, but it's because it is everywhere. If you are in the wellness space, in the human development space, in the activation space, that you want to be part of helping people be their best version of themselves, or just be a catalyst for your own family or for your own group, then you really have to be able to also do the work yourself. And it can be lonely, and it can be not always that fun, but I do really believe with every ounce of my being, it's really rewarding. I wanted to leave us with 3 takeaways today. Something that we could just take on and maybe chew on and breathe on and think about. So, what do you feel like, or where do you feel like you don't belong? Where in your life do you feel like imposter, not 100% yourself? That might be the exact place you're meant to build. Interesting. The place that you're most uncomfortable might be the exact place that you need to be so that you can reach your full potential, so that you can show yourself, prove to yourself that anything is possible. The question is how much trust do you have in yourself? These are like big things. Are you waiting to be accepted, or are you called to initiate? Acceptance, or do you want to initiate? And you know what? I had to realize something. Growing up, I always liked to throw the parties. I liked having them. I liked them being in my house. I liked kind of having the control over it. I felt confident. I felt secure. And I always wanted to create a great experience for people. Vision doesn't wait for permission. But some of us do need a little reminder. So if you're listening to this today and you've stayed and you've followed this through this episode, this is your sign. This is your ability to give yourself permission to go create, go throw the party, have it on your ground, in your house. Be the hostess. Don't wait for the invitation. Be the one that delivers the invitation. Because then you start to see who you actually want to party with, who you want to hang out with. What if loneliness isn't abandonment? What if it's preparation? Well, then that means I have been preparing for a long time, for at least 4 to 5 years. And when you prepare and you put in the work and you pay attention to the details and you get to know yourself, come on, those are the things we love about Martha Stewart. We love that. We love the details. And I will tell you about this community, what I've noticed, they do pay attention to the details. I'm in awe how beautiful a lot of the women are and the families are, and the way they pay attention to their food and the elegance. I think it's beautiful, the culture. And maybe I was a bit resistant because I didn't know how to embrace myself with it. It was a part of myself I had let go. Maybe I stopped throwing parties because I really didn't know who I was anymore in that moment, because I was shedding and I was becoming this new version of myself. Melissa 3.0, maybe Melissa 5.0. I don't know yet what I'm supposed to build here, but I know this. I wasn't brought here by accident. And sometimes I do feel restless. Sometimes I feel lost. And sometimes I feel like a foreigner. Maybe it's not because I don't belong. Maybe it's because I'm supposed to begin. We're always starting a new chapter. We always have the opportunity to start a new chapter. And I'm in a really great chapter now, and I'm excited to see what the next chapter holds for me. And I will tell you, I got here when I turned 40, and these first 4 years, will turn 45 this year. I'm so grateful for the healing and the growth I've had. And I can only imagine what my 45th and the next 5 years will have in store for me. watch out, because I know who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I am not afraid of growing. I'm not afraid of being alone, and I know the gifts I have. So I ask you, do you need some time to look and be alone or get comfortable? I don't know. Let us know. We're here for you. It's great things to recognize that you are meant to be, and you do belong, and you deserve a seat at the table. So till next time, thank you so much for tuning in to Mind Your Mouth. I can't wait to see you next time. And remember, take a deep breath, breathe easy, and get comfortable in that skin of yours, because it's beautiful.